Okay, I got music, and I'm not getting that screen up, so... Back here, do this. There we go. There we go.
Nice. Hello, everyone. We are back.
We're back, just like we threatened.
Yeah, we warned you. You didn't
No.
listen.
We warned you. We told you what to expect.
Exactly. It is Sunday night, and that means it's time for the Weekly Dig. For anyone new to this stream, this is a live show where we dig into anime old and new. I'm Brent. These are my fabulous co-hosts, John
Konbanwa, mina.
and Steve.
Hello, because I don't know Japanese.
Well, have you ever tried talking to Japanese? Maybe you'd get to know them better.
Let us start our dig tonight by analyzing the final 3 episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS Team. As always, spoilers lie ahead as we dig into the Shuddering Mountain.
Dun, dun,
There
dun.
we go.
Bum, bum, bum.
Which is definitely there's definitely a lot going on in these episodes.
Yes. And I have been waiting to hear John's reaction.
Absolutely.
Bated breath.
So
Yeah.
these this is the finale. Really, it is the climax of everything, and particularly the climax of Norris's storyline.
Yes.
As we get to see what happens to him and everyone else. So basically, the Zeon are trying to get out of their mountain base. The Federations are trying to not let them get out from their mountain base. And so we get basically what's going on there. It's sort of this wonderful, big confrontation as you realize, okay, two immovable forces, so to speak, are arrayed against each other.
Yeah.
We're going to find out what happens. And we start with this long sequence of Norris coming back into the base, realizing what's going down, realizing what's going to happen. And there's this rather lovely conversation between him and Aina about what to happen next. And I think this is really where I started shifting not really shifting my opinion of Norris, but where I was like, oh, what a good guy.
Yeah.
He really, I think, comes across as an upstanding individual here.
Sort of kind of a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
One might say.
Yes.
I might say. What were your guys' thoughts as these scenes were coming out?
Pretty much everybody was going to die except Aina.
Mm-hmm.
So when it ran through my mind, it's like, oh, you're just making me like people, and then you're going to get rid of them. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gas up the ship. Yeah, we got to protect the ship to get into orbit. Are you going to fly out through a whole bunch of... Okay, this is not... I don't see things going well. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a definite sense of foreboding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. I also did appreciate something that came to mind as I was watching this, is that the goof that we see here,
Yes.
at this point in the war, is a new machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
it's an advanced machine. So for the time, even though for us it's like, oh, it's a goof. It's from so long ago. No, like this is a really impressive unit he's going to go out in. So they have a chance, right?
So they have
that wasn't the feeling I had.
So they have the ace pilot Norris, and he has the conversation with Ina, and I totally forgot about the whole them talking to each other as like, oh, I think fondly of you, and in that nice familial way. And he just kind of goes, well, okay, I can die with a clear conscience now because I'm doing something that I don't feel like I'm throwing my life away. I think it's what was Norris's takeaway from this. Because up to this point, he's doing the soldier thing, and as they were going back down into the mountain, he had that interior commentary of going, well, commander, giving up the base isn't really much of a commander, so he's thinking a little thoughts of himself. And so he's just like, okay, well, this is we'll get the ship out, and that's worth the thing, and Ina thinks very highly of me, so sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm good with this.
It's funny how ultimately Norris is probably the most clear-headed character in the entire series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he's like, well, they all got to get out. Somebody has to defend the line while they do that. Somebody has to do that. I'm the best person for the job. I will do that thing. I will, if I have to sacrifice my life, fine. But this is what needs to happen. It's good. You're right.
Yeah.
If I fall for the greater good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So every time I watch this series, that scene where he's talking to the blonde kid in the cap, and he's just like, yeah, you're going to get out of here. I always think of that kid as what's his name in War in the Pocket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not Andy. Andy's the other one, but he, whatever his name, I forget. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
And because the goof is their primary weapon in War in the Pocket. I was just like, oh, is this what's his name? But no, it's not. It's not.
It's definitely not him.
Is that Bernie? Bernie, that's it. Yeah, it's not Bernie.
Definitely not.
No.
What happens next?
No.
But off he goes, and then you get this lovely moment, this very intense moment as he goes off. And we get Ina's reaction. And she got crazy eyes.
Looking a little bit like a brother.
Exactly. And I love that I think they almost literally were like, no. Grab the character design for Gineas. Just put the eyes on her.
Yeah.
Right.
As she realizes, like, no, this is insane. Like, this is, we are not part of a military operation at this point. It's just my brother doing whatever.
Yeah. Causing mass casualties for no particularly good reason.
Yeah. Then out we go to this really, again, kind of, I just really appreciate how much they set up the logic of the situation where we have these 3 gun tanks all positioned in firing range and 3 Gundams sort of escorting 1 each. And their job is to escort the tanks and to make sure all that happens. Very clear scenario.
I also enjoyed the fact that they brought Karen's Gundam.
Yeah.
With its new head. Because the first saw it, I'm like, okay, you're doing escort duty. That the gun tanks are obviously woefully poor at defending themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is up with that? Oh, that's right, because Karen's Gundam got its head knocked off, so she's got like a secondary sensor system put on from another Gundam. I'm like, now that's nice continuity. It's not like, we repaired it and repainted it. You're like, no, you just literally are like, slap a new head on. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, like I appreciate that continuity.
Exactly.
This is actual gunpla.
Exactly.
Well, somebody had already undone the bolts, Steve. So took it right the hell off.
But unfortunately for them, this happens.
Yeah.
And
Nora shows up. Yeah.
And I think that it's interesting that Shiro like immediately understands. Oh crap! Yeah. Because he tells everyone, yeah, we're not, we no, this guy's going to clean the floor with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you see it in Phineas or in Norris. And one of the things I appreciate is how they get across the fact that Norris is succeeding partly because he's ace, but also partly because he has nothing to lose.
Right.
And so he's just using every skill, everything he has in this battle, and he has that kind of clarity of thought of being able to say, okay, I do this, do that, and there, like just done. Which is pretty good description of exactly what happens there, of just done.
Yeah.
As he takes out just one after the other.
Well, I had really hoped that Norris was just that good and that he could pull off the whole scheme. I'm like, oh, come on, the guy's a good dude. He's like a good pilot, but he also has like what appears to be a conscience. You know what I mean? Like he's got some independent thinking there, so he's making sacrifices, but he's not like hopefully throwing his. I'm like, oh no, this is no.
No.
You're gonna do this, aren't you? Like really?
Yeah. And we have this just really cool fight scene. As he's going through them one by one. And we snap back to Gideus, who is partying with his friends.
Hi. Yeah, God.
Watch style.
How quickly did you all figure out what was happening?
So on the first watch, I didn't. Success and further watches during over time, definitely knew what was going on. But this time around, I actually connected this with the Watchmen comic book series, in which one of the villain does this exact thing. And this was done, and Watchmen was in '89, I think. So I'm kind of wondering if there were some parallels between what happened in that and here. But
or Jim Jones,
Yeah.
True.
So what did you think, John? When you're just like,
knowing that Ina's brother is a fruitcake, and like,
you think?
Yeah, he's completely gone off the edge. So I was like, oh, he's toasting the team. No, he's not toasting. This is something. And I actually had expected a bomb to go off. So I knew that was going to be death, but I was I wasn't sure. And I was like, how is he going to do it? And then like everybody's like gleefully drinking their poison. I was just like, okay, maybe we're shifting away from the explosion. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I'm sad to see the doctor die, but after hyping all of the soldiers up with Prevatin, like,
yeah. It's also interesting to be here that you can clearly see the strain on Gideus's face.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not everything is going according to plan.
Yeah.
But his hair is still fantastic.
Exactly. Fabulous. A lot of product involved in this man's life.
The world I know is falling apart. Everything I've worked for is down the toilet. There's no way back. But my hair looks great. Okay.
Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah, exactly.
And then back to the action, and Norris just tearing them apart. Particularly one by one.
Yeah.
And again, good writing. The Gundams are actually not in that much danger because that's not his goal, right? And so it's one of the weird things is that the Gundams are trying to stop this guy, and they realize, oh, like I'm a secondary concern for him. He's just trying to get around me to get to the gun tanks.
Yeah.
And so we're actually kind of not as worried about will they all survive as will the mission succeed. And then we snap back to Ina and what's going on, and we hear an explosion, John.
Because poison's not enough.
No, exactly.
Well, you gotta make sure.
You have to incinerate everything. How it works. All your research data, all the information.
Yeah, which I'm sure that's the point is all that. Funny that the one character in this that gets the cool walk away from the explosion is Guineas.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you have the rather iconic face off on the railway here between the two of them. As yeah, basically Shiro fails.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what were you guys thinking at this point when Shiro loses the power in the cockpit? And he's kind of scrambling. He kind of loses it here for a second.
Which I think I would too.
I think everybody would.
Like,
because everything's done. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like just when we were in Genshin and my character was about 3 seconds away from dying and I couldn't run away and I got toad stomped.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, he's sitting there and it's like any second the pain and death will come.
Yeah.
Any moment, and it's not happening. And he's just like, for F's sake, just do it already. And he just kind of loses it and says that at the end, because he's trying to live, but you just can't get past the fact that the thing's going to come through the carriage, the bullet's going to come through the carriage at any moment, and there's that moment where you're just like, okay, it's just we're done, just do it, done.
Yeah. I was gonna say, given that Norris has other plans, I had a kind of a feeling that maybe he wasn't going to end up killing him.
Yeah,
but I like the way that they portrayed. This is kind of what happens when your life and your mission relies on something that's technological, and you remove that. He is trapped in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there is, all environmental systems presumably are down. Thank goodness they're on the Earth, so you're not going to suffocate to death. But that was the scene where all the circuit breakers blew one by one. Flip. And it's just like, you don't have any clue. You have no sensor data to tell you whether Norris is lining up the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So every moment is pins and needles. Like, am I going to die now? How about now? And I was like,
actually, to that point, I never really thought about it. The reason why he's reacting this way is because there is no moment for him to prepare to die.
Yeah.
Norris gets that.
Exactly.
A lot of these characters get that moment that is, it might be an oh crap moment or it's something, but there's a moment where you go, okay, it's over, it's done.
Yeah.
Okay. And just preparing for the death.
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea.
Yeah.
He has no idea. He to your point, John, he can't see if Norris is lining up the shot. He can't see if it's going to be a blade, if it's going to be a bullet, if it's going to be a beam weapon. He doesn't know. There's no point for him to go, let me say my little prayer, close my eyes, think of a nice last thought. Boom, done. He doesn't have that.
And because of the buildup of the fact that Norris has other things he's trying to accomplish, it's like, does Norris see Shiro as a threat?
Yeah.
Or does he think that Shiro's neutralized now, and so he's moving on? It's that lovely, that tension. And so then we have that fantastic cut to the outside where you see that Norris is using Shiro as a shield.
Yeah.
Which again, just a brilliant tactic. It makes sense.
I'm trying to remember what movie where somebody did that, where they hid behind, they pulled a body up and hid behind it while the body got riddled with machine guns.
Well, Elfin Lied, that happened.
There's that too, but it was a live action film, and I can't remember what it was all these years later.
Yeah. And so again, Shiro just kind of going crazy, and then that moment where Shiro says, "I'm doing this for the one I love," and Norris realizes that line of, "You're that guy."
Yeah.
As Dan's pointing out in the chat room, they're fighting for the same woman without realizing it until the very end of the fight.
Yeah.
That's writing. It's good writing.
Yep. Which if Shiro had yelled that earlier, Norris might have put a bullet right through him. Like, hey, this gets rid of my problem. Two birds with one stone.
Then we switch back to Aina and Gideon taking off, And again, I love how they build out the scene where you realize, oh, Ina's in her own emotional place now.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning in her head. And so this is not going to go the way Gideon thinks it's going to go.
Well, he already suspected that in the prior episodes where he's like, "You're dressing, more feminine. You're, like almost like a woman who's in love."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so she's not just fawning over him and his decision-making process, and what I mean, it's like she's got a lunatic sitting behind her,
Yep.
and she's now really aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh boy,
Exactly.
trapped in a can with crazy. Oh, that can.
Yeah, exactly. And then just the animation of this beam weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just so gorgeous as it's arcing across everything. And to be clear, like animating with light, basically the way that's done, that's complicated. Like that's hard to do. There's a lot of like chopping things up for that. So like they spent time on that effect. And I realized, I don't think I realized it the first time around, but realizing it this time, when she does the beam, you see like the mobile suits like get knocked back, but you don't see any actual like death and destruction.
Right.
Okay.
And I like that, if you're paying attention, you can notice that it's, what amounts to a warning shot for the Epsilus. But then, Norris gets in his final hit. Norris goes for Shiro, and just the editing and pacing of this moment where Shiro goes in, hits him. We cut to Norris going, "I won," as he dies, and then seeing his guns hit the gun tank.
Yeah.
Yep.
Taking out the gun tank, and Shiro going, "I lost."
Norris should have pulled the eject seat
Yeah.
trigger. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. But he did it.
Yeah.
Took him out. And that's the end of the episode, right there.
Yeah.
Such a good fight. Exactly, Dan. Like, that is just, and that's how to write people fighting together. Like there's character being portrayed in the fight.
Yes.
You learn more about the characters through the fight. It's fantastic stuff. Moving on to Shuddering Mountain Part 2.
The laser crab in the sky.
Yep, pretty much.
Things can only get better, right?
Yeah.
No.
So rather than go through this kind of scene by scene, point of this is the Epsilus tries to get out, and there's a kind of standoff, Mexican standoff, if you will, between the Epsilus and the Earth Federation forces, as they realize, like, we have a bunch of soldiers we're trying to get out of here, but who can trust whom?
Yeah.
And so Ina asks for a truce, which of course Genius is perfectly fine with.
Oh yeah, he was just like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, totally.
No, he just went insane.
Completely.
Which, I mean, he's nuts enough. He's going to do the thing anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what a callous disregard for like everybody involved in this to not be like, just hold on the trigger. We know where you're going to go with this. Just hold on the trigger and let at least somebody get out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, he's so far gone at this point where it's like, it's amazing.
But at this point, he is actually trusting the federal commander to do what he's going to do, which is basically go back on his word and just go. Okay, no, we're going to, this is the point of all this, is we're going to slaughter everything.
Yeah.
And remember the federal commander over there is not a good person.
No.
You know, he's sending people in, and you know, kind of nod, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that maybe a nuclear reactor from one of his Gundams will go off inside if a bomb goes off, right? So it takes care of the whole problem, and he doesn't have to worry about it. And then it just, as it goes on further and further, he's giving these commands of like, no, set up the snipers, we're going to kill everybody. But you're lying. Yes, I am. Set up the snipers, and you know.
Well, so
yeah,
actually, I want to talk about that moment because I found that kind of weird.
Yeah,
because when Ina says, "Okay, you know, let us go," you know, got the thing going on, and the commander says, "All right, fine, set up the snipers," and the other guy's like, "How dare you?" And I'm like, "Wait, he didn't say shoot Ina. He said set up the snipers just in case." Like, I would do that in this situation. Like, I don't trust them. Let's have a contingency plan in place just in case they're pulling back on their word. So it's kind of weird to me that the show was like, you know, that contingency plan was evil. Because I was like, what he did with the contingency plan is absolutely evil. But it's you know, again, to me that felt militarily sound.
It was, you know, what you're banking on in the story is that people don't think of it that way. So what you're thinking of is basically what you're trying to intuit from this scene is that he's saying, I am only going along with this truce so that I can kill everyone, so that I can shoot everybody. Yeah. And you know, and Guineas is doing the same thing.
Right.
And so, you know, and meanwhile, other characters, Ina and other people are like going, no, this is supposed to be a truce. You know, we're not supposed to do this. And you know, military history, it has, prior to the 20th century, I should say, a record of when you say a truce, you had the truce and you didn't do things like that. And so I think that's kind of what they're banking on. But this guy, I mean, you know, early on, he makes it very, very clear that he doesn't really care who he kills, how many people he kills, how many people on his own side he's going to get killed, because he's got his own agenda, which is promotion. You know, he does that. So he has that line where he goes to the unit commander right there. He goes, "What's another soldier?" You don't do that. You know, you don't say that. So it's not. You know, it's just to your point. You know, callous disregard for human life. Yeah, just like Guineas. And at this point, you're just like, it's just like the scene in the village where you're just like, what's the thing? Who's going to drop what to set off everything? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I also took it that in that conversation, how could you? That it felt like they in the command structure, they know each other's style, and they know presumably who's a good commander and who is a self-interested commander.
Okay.
So I took that kind of comment to be like, okay, you know, you're spying on Shiro. You have you know, people keeping eyes on, and you have everybody keeping eyes on everybody else. And it's like, so you're the kind of leader that doesn't engender this esprit de corps. You're this kind of leader that likes to play powers off on one another. So that him saying, "Oh, you're gonna set up the snipers," I got the sensation that this other guy's like, "Oh crap, he is gonna do it."
It's the unit reaction. The unit commander's reaction to that is our message from the audience to say, no, what you suspect is really what's going on, is really what's going to happen. I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
And by the way, that was like the dad look.
Yeah,
of the commander. That's the dad look of just like, I swear to God, son, you say one more thing and it's backhand right across your face. Not even my own father hits me like that. Well, yeah, that's kind of well.
Exactly. And yeah, everything goes according to plan. Everything's fine. Not quite, because Phineas fires the thing, and we get our moment of wanton destruction.
Yeah.
Of just some gorgeously animated sequences of Gundam being torn apart. It should also be noted here that every shot is hitting the midsection.
Yep.
Like
He's yeah.
Pilot kill.
right. Meaning, not only is it a pilot, is it meaning take it out. Like the Epsilus is just that good.
Yeah.
It can target the cockpit from that distance. Like holy crap. Yeah. And so of course the sniper takes out the Theon ship, and all gloves are off.
Basically blowing up a hospital ship. Hey.
Yep. Yeah. And again, this is the point where you realize, well, we're done. Kind of reached it. Nice little moment of Karen and Sanders protecting the tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were your guys' reactions at this point? Like what was your headspace when we were at this point in the story?
Pretty much everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Like
Same here.
Like, this is the great apocalyptic moment. It's like we're not protecting anything anymore. Everybody was trying to escape's all dead.
Yeah.
So now you just get, crazy super weapon and the enemy of the guy who's piloting the damn crazy super weapon. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just we're doing this. It'll be interesting. I want to see the apocalypse. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, and as Johnny Cat is saying, if I can't win, then no one wins.
Right.
Exactly this scene. Steve?
So on first watching of this, I'm just like, as as everything goes to hell in a handbasket, I'm kind of like John. I was just like going, okay, so basically all command is lost. No one's really in it anymore. Nobody really wants to do this anymore except the crazy people, right?
Yeah.
Only the crazy people want to keep on doing this. And that's pretty much Gineas. And everyone else is just like, literally, like even I felt this way at a certain point in this episode on first watch was, can we be done now?
Yeah.
Can he just die now? Can he something happen like it just malfunctions? What anything? Can Char come down and do the second most best headshot in the history of anime after killing Cassilia? So yeah, you're done. It's just like there's really nothing left to fight over. Honestly, there's really nothing left. Shiro has already resigned his commission pretty much. And, there's really nobody left on the battlefield except for these people. And honestly, if I was in one of the surviving mobile suits or whatever, I would have been like going, South looks good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whatever is in the opposite direction of that. That's where I'm going.
Oh no, my suit malfunctioned. I better pull the eject seat.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, it turns out it is stopped by Shiro showing up and Aina being Shiro, or seeing Shiro. And I mean, it's corny, but she is stopped by the power of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And realizing she has something to fight for instead of against.
So what's interesting is I'm looking at that shot and I realized that I had watched Pat Labor before I watched MS-18. And in Pat Labor, the movie, this is what happens to Alphonse, the mecha, and Alphonse loses his arm. And it's just this kind of scene where it's just like that quiet moment before everyone's just like taking deep breaths, and then everyone's deciding, do we continue being crazy or what are we going to do here? Yeah. And that's just kind of reminded me of that one moment in Pat Labor.
This is also in fairness, this is a thing that's kind of throughout 8th MS team, which some might call a kind of a drawback of 8th MS team. It looks like a gunpla. Yeah. Like a lot of times when drawing the Gundams here, they kind of look like toys. And so you wonder how much of that is kind of feeding into the animation, but not complaining.
I'll say it's also got very monochromatic kind of things going on where it's like dark light. That's it. Yep. Like not any kind of real details. Like the snap together kit you could build and it looks exactly like that.
There we go. Oh. Yes. And then Gideon says the thing.
Yeah, I thought it was done for Ina. I was just like,
First
no. I'm like, no, don't kill her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In fairness, when I was watching it, I was like, the watch. Like, they have an out with the watch. I thought she was dead, but I was like, okay, if they want to bring her back, they will show that actually the watch is broken.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank goodness for timepieces.
Exactly. And thank goodness for Shiro's, flying through the air to catch Ina. But of course, Gideon don't care.
No.
I love that line from Gideon. So you're the one that made me kill my sister. I think something like those lines. Yeah, come on, dude.
I had my whole Syscon thing going, and you ruined it. Okay.
Wow.
He's the mayor of Crazy Town at this point, so really anything he says is just like
pretty much. But thankfully, a sniper gets in there, hits him, takes him down, and down he goes. Yeah, and then the commander says take him out, and we no. And then we get the unit commander's great moment. I love this scene because it is such catharsis for the audience, I think, to have this guy who's clearly, the career soldier, I'm just here, I'm doing the thing. And then when he's just like, nope.
Yep.
I'm not doing that thing. Nope.
Look at that. Time to go.
And that line where, oh, and by the way, I heard you order the shooting down of a medevac ship.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah, that's like a haunted moment. Yeah, so he just nopes out. And finally, we get the big showdown between the two. And I do love the exchange here between the two, where Shiro says, I have to kill your brother now. Almost asking permission. And Ina saying, goodbye, brother.
Yeah.
Because nothing like a attempted murder by your own sibling will make you go, I kind of don't care. That's okay, Shiro. That's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here. Let me help you aim.
Yeah.
Well, when she got shot, they did a really good job at the look on her face where she's like, oh. It's like, shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't expect that to happen, did you? So, yeah, it's not surprising. She's like, shot for shot. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And yeah, I agree, Dan. The shot of them both sharing the controls, and symbolism. Thank you, 8th MS team. His arm is broken, and so they do it together. Sharing responsibility. Fantastic.
For bringing down the crazy brother and his destructive machine.
Well, anime is so interesting when they decide to kill people. They can do it in a very antiseptic fashion, or they can give you or a very gory fashion, or they can just give you you kind of know what's going to happen. We'll leave it to your imagination. As the metal fist goes in, you see getting into his face like, and gets scrunched, and you're just like, and you're left with the imagination of him just being pulverized.
Yeah, exactly.
Reduced to a crimson stain.
Yep. And there it goes. Yeah, it's there's not likely much left. I completely agree, Steve, because there's always the can he come back from this? Right. We didn't actually see him die. I think this is just a wonderfully effective and tactful. Where it's like, nope, that's it.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
Now we don't have like in the village where we had the Zaku with the blood gushing down the side. So I mean, you could, if you were really insane, decide to be like, oh no, at the last minute, Gideon just he just dropped down the back stairs,
right?
Ran out the back. You're like, no. I want it to be him getting squashed with a fist. Thank you.
Like Yamato, that scene in Yamato.
Oh,
come on.
Nope. I got out. We're fine.
Yeah.
Really?
Um,
We asked for some reality in these things. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. But he gets in one final shot. And
Pretty
he's not
fine
gonna,
shot too.
Yeah. No court martial for this particular commander.
No.
Just again, good writing, good. It's good all around.
A good end to bad rubbish.
Exactly. And we end with our the remaining heroes rushing in to see if they can find Shiro and Aina, or is it?
Bum bum bum.
Because we cut from that to a completely different end credit sequence.
Yeah.
Showing within the ruins a little makeshift camp.
Bandages.
Laundry set up.
Some bloody
Bandages.
bandages. Yeah.
Exactly. Little cross. And presumably for Gideus.
Macross? No, wait a
Nah. Different cross. And then finally, shot and just So I suspect there's a certain aspect of this that it is hard to animate somebody who does, walking who does not have a leg.
Yeah.
Because just animators aren't used to how the body shifts and weight shifts and so forth. I think it was really smart of them to just show them in silhouette. But also because that silhouette emphasizes Shiro's lost leg.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice there. Off they go.
Which kind of gives you a wonder. It's like they had a makeshift camp. How long were they at that camp before the federal forces were able to actually show up and like sort of get in force to investigate the base?
Yeah.
Because I would have thought they would have been found relatively quickly.
Right.
But
they're probably there wasn't that much left after the battle, honestly, and the command structure was totally wiped out. So they probably had to go back, communicate what happened, reallocate sources. Right. So they probably had, my guess, I don't know for certain, obviously, like a week or so at least before they're had to hurry out. But
I think sorry, go ahead.
No, but and so by the time they were able to go in and actually comb through and keep in mind that's a Mappa, they don't know if there's anybody left. Right. To find out, like if there's some more crazy Gideus hiding in a little hidey hole with a gun,
It's clone Gideus with his extra super crazy ship. Damn it to hell! How many people are in here?
I think also it's the timeline of the war. You know that Abu Aku is coming up. Very shortly. So probably all the forces are being drawn back to the final battle of the war. And probably being pulled away from this place temporarily. Because you're right. Like I had a similar reaction. I was like, how could they spend that much time down there if there's a operation? Presumably there was something. And then we get this this whole final little clip here, telling us to stay tuned for episode 12, and this little shocker. Something John and I talked about before. So the Flanagan Institute is from original Gundam and Zeta Gundam. Right. They're the ones who did all the new type research. So this was clearly thrown into telling folks, hey, there's some stuff that's going to go down. We're going to get some weird plot. But actually, Dan in chat room is pointing out a really good thing I want to point out. It is a perfect closing shot, partly because it's not a shot of victory. It's not soldiers standing on top of a mountain peak. Everything's great. It's two people, just making their way out of a door, into their future, but doing so at great cost.
Yeah. That they've lost something in what they had to go through in this battle.
Yeah.
His leg, but more so, innocence, their, expectations of a normal life.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, those lovely final lines of I'll support you. We'll go together.
Share the burden.
Share the burden. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. What more perfect metaphor for marriage than that?
Yeah.
So on first watch, at this point, I was just like, okay, we're done. All right, cool. Wait, no, there's one more. Wait, what? There's one more episode.
There's another episode?
What's going on here?
What the hell? I don't think this episode needs to exist.
No, I don't either.
It confused me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like the whole purpose of this last episode was two reasons. One was to build up the new type, just to, hey, a signal flare saying, hey, new type. And then the other part of it is it's just like, let's do one more last jab because you thought everyone was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see if we can trick you into believing that people actually did die.
Mm-hmm.
So you have most of the episode, and I'm sitting there just going, "Oh, just tell me, just tell me."
Stop introducing kindergartners. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Good Lord, just tell me if he's dead or alive, and if the corpse is actually Ina. Jeez.
But we have to have our Apocalypse Now sequence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
Little Michael is a drunkard now.
Yeah.
As they go off to try to find Shiro and such. And yeah, I got to admit, I feel like they threw the Flanagan kids into here to create some Gundam related like backstory plot to kind of work in, just so we'd have something.
Yeah.
And then just kind of tell a story of these kids out in the middle of nowhere, kind of trying to survive in the middle of nowhere, including the creepy Lane kids, the Lane twins.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Lane came out a year before this episode came out. So I just saying. I think they may have watched something.
Little influence, maybe?
Just maybe, just possibly. The Bears.
And
well, I enjoy the fact that they made Mikhail be a drunk.
Really?
And that,
sort of the one person that was like could be arguably the most innocent with his, little back and forth with Bebe and all this stuff and how cute that was. Turn him into the drunk. Sanders? Yes. Anybody else on the team. But
Karen?
Yeah.
And you get the letter that was never opened previously because he dropped it to go off to do the thing.
Right.
And so finally you see what the letter was, which was Bebe just basically cheating on him getting married or whatever. Probably the letter that said, yeah, we're done, we're over. And then he's get the picture of his ex with the baby and the husband with the face marked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're like 20.
Yeah.
Mikhail got a Dear John letter and he's not taking it well.
No, definitely not. No.
I mean, in real life, how many times have people been dumped by the time they were age 20? I mean, come on,
quite a few.
Exactly. That's a good point, Dan. Who sends their ex a wedding photo? That's a fair point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was kind of twisting the knife on her part.
Well, it certainly stops any letters from him being like, but consider what you would think about. No, here's a letter of me and my baby and my husband. Thank you.
Stop
Goodbye.
writing me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are these kids from the Flanagan Institute who are out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a bit of a scare because they bury a body and say it's Ina, and they're afraid it's Ina. But then immediately Kiki's like, "No,
she was
that's clearly a kid."
Yeah,
yeah. And so they dig up the graves. They find out it's not actually them. It's just, but Shiro and Ina were there and basically adulted the kids for a little while.
Which again, I'd said this to you, Brent. How do these people tracking them down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they've done the apocalypse now. They've gone up the river. They're looking for Colonel Kurtz. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like, and suddenly we come on the village of the Lord of the Flies, and you know what I mean? It's just like, what is going on? How did you even know to go up that river? And you know that one branch of that one
I mean,
place you were. You know,
presumably they've gone up a lot of
Right,
rivers.
I'm gonna
No.
guess like how many years have passed? You know what I mean? Like, let's start this one river randomly, and then we'll go
Mm,
up about I don't know 5 years and see if we
yeah.
find them. You're like, what the hell?
I'm sure they were searching. They're trying all sorts of different things, and eventually, this is one of the possible landing sites, right?
Yeah, they happen to accidentally run across these kids. It's randomly. Huh.
So, yeah, this episode totally didn't need to happen. I mean, and plus the kids disappear, like literally disappear.
Yeah.
And Mikhail's just like going, "Oh, they were a hallucination or whatever."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and trying to trick himself to believe that.
Mm.
And I just love how it just arbitrarily snows. And
Yeah.
and of course they know what to do with the inert Gundam there.
Mhm.
And make the second was it
It's like a hot
steam
springs.
baths, hot springs.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like they just disappear and they just move on. And it's just kind of like, why did we bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did we bother introducing these kids? Why did we
Mhm.
bother doing this? Why couldn't we just have them as an end credit scene? Mikhail
Mhm.
doing like a 5-minute end credit scene of
Mhm.
Mikhail and
Mhm.
Kiki going up the river, going, well, since everybody else was reassigned to other parts of the globe, I was discharged, so we
Mhm.
went on the search. And then you have a 5-minute montage of them looking and then finding
Yeah.
them. We don't
Mhm.
need the kids. We don't need any of this.
I agree. In fairness, kind of, there is some symbolism in this. Like they see the swan a couple of times,
Yes.
and the swan is a symbol of protection of children in Japanese folklore.
Okay.
So and then the snow is obviously it wipes things away, it cleans things off, it creates a new surface, a new reality.
And the Lane twins who are barefoot wearing nothing but a shirt are
They'll be
probably
fine.
also going to freeze to death. But that's fine.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I and to be clear, Steve, I think they were going for symbolism.
Okay.
I don't think it helps.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it makes it better. I don't think
No.
it, because I was like, okay, well, they add the symbolism, but they're still maybe there, but maybe not. It's still very frustrating.
Yeah.
It just adds this level of unreality to it. It's not been there for the past 12 episodes. So it's just like,
Yeah, I would have loved it if they were all ghosts.
Mhm.
But there is not
Yeah.
a single damn thing in their whole entirety of the show that
No.
is suggestive of like supernatural stuff,
Exactly.
other than Sanders' bad luck being the
That's true.
reason. But there's not, you don't have moments where like Sanders is haunted, but like he turns around, he sees somebody like gory corpse being like, "You killed me, Reaper."
Yeah.
We have none of that. So them disappearing as ghosts is like, well, that
Right.
doesn't make any sense.
And then you have the weirdness that, like, if you're going to go in that direction and be kind of abstract and does it all mean anything, to then end with, oh yeah, and here's Ina and Shiro and they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, go abstract or don't. What are you doing? So bizarre.
And it's
And they don't really
about
say
Brett,
anything.
hey, where did he go? He went north.
like,
Like, wow.
Thanks.
all right.
Thanks.
That only covers half the globe.
Oh, crud. I just realized something.
That they're drinking coffee.
Wait a second.
That Shiro doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Wait a second.
That he give his left foot for answers. What?
I may have just cracked something.
Uh-oh.
What's
Cracking a toe
episodes?
is never good.
This okay.
Shiro can't on his left foot.
No, it can't be. I don't think. No, it was later. Interesting.
What?
April. No, okay. There is a strong parallel between this and Turn A Gundam.
Oh, okay.
Which was airing at the same time.
Oh.
Turn A Gundam began in April of 1999, whereas this episode came out in July of 1999. That's interesting. It's Tomino. Tomino, did you steal your ending from HMS team? Just asking. Just curious. That's an odd coincidence. I don't know. Can't say anything else because it'll be spoiler. But that's odd. That's very interesting. All I know is that it all ends with making space babies.
No.
As it must.
Idion!
Yeah,
Idion!
Idion just shows up, and then all the story is solved. Okay,
There we are. Yes. There's your ending.
God.
They're fine. It's all good.
Well, I just love how it's like, there's no exposition. It's just, MacLeod goes, it's like, Shiro, and Kiki just, drops and cries or whatever. And, and it's just like, oh, Ina's pregnant. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately my thoughts go to, well, there's no doctor. This is not going to go very well. And how they make the cabin? Was the cabin already there? So many questions.
Difficultly.
So many questions. And did the kids build it for like I don't
it's a nice shingle work.
Yeah. At the Flanagan Institute, all those children were qualified craftsmen. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing about this is now that we've had Kiki and Mikkel together, and Mikkel's become this lush drunk after the whole baby thing. Do we now have two couples who live together in like the woods, or do like Kiki and Miguel go on to like investigate other things in like the super detective team? Like they found these two people in the north. Maybe they're looking for other lost people, near the ocean. What are you doing with this?
Yeah, because I can just see Shiro being pragmatic and going, "Oh, it's so nice to see you, Mikkel and Kiki. You can never leave."
Or the alternative,
I don't think so.
How horrible would it be? He was like, "Well, thanks for finding us, guys. Have fun on your way back. We spent 5 years." Here's a cup of water.
Yeah.
Get out. Did you stop to think we didn't want to be found? Huh? Did you just think about that now?
No.
Much like baby, we didn't return your phone calls, okay?
Exactly. Because Miguel, you're a little obsessive about stuff, dude.
Kiki, you're still too young.
Oh, it's 5 years later. Kiki. Yeah. Kiki's like older by now.
Yeah, he's fine. How old was she? 16, I think?
I think she was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe she's 17 now. I don't know. It's been a full year.
I have no idea.
As he says, 00 something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's so unfortunate to have such a rousing, satisfying finale in episodes 10 and 11, and then end up with this episode 12 where you're like, okay, I guess.
It's almost as if they said, it's 11 episodes. We can't have 11 episodes. We have to have 12 episodes. We actually have budget for 12 episodes. We have to use the money.
Yeah.
At which point I probably would have said, can we just split the money? And
just embezzle it.
Well, I think it's one of those things where 8th MS team was so successful that it ended in someone's like, nope, got to milk it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to find some way of doing one more episode. All right, fine.
And then they probably did the episode, and all the fans went, "Oh!" And they said, "Okay, we're done. We're done. The money train is over."
Yeah. Beyond the problematic aspects of it, I like the fact that you get to see Shiro and you get to see
agreed,
Ina, and that they have overcome their differences as a Fetty and a Zeke pilot. You know what I mean? Like they've come together despite the war, and now they're going to welcome a new life, and it's wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
They survived. All these other people died, and they're okay. They made it. Thank you. Well, that would have been good enough. I wouldn't need any of the other crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like okay, you have that end credit sequence in episode 11,
right?
And then you literally cut to this. Forests, something. Kiki and Mikkel walking through the woods, no dialogue, and then coming upon this cabin in the woods and seeing Shiro and Aina arrive. Like,
Yes,
cool.
that would have been
thank you.
fine.
And
Yes,
we're good.
exactly. Yes.
Cutscene,
Yeah.
now we're done. Perfect.
No, let's put a bunch of creepy kids in there and make Miguel like a drunk, and because he's gonna have fun with that going detox, because I'm sure that Shiro doesn't have that. He's only drinking. They're only drinking coffee there.
Yeah,
Miguel's
coffee
like-
will take care of it. It'll be fine.
He'll sober up quick. That'll be a caffeine.
He'll go
addict.
through the DTS. Episode 13 was Miguel goes through the DTS.
Just sitting by the lakeshore shaking. I need booze, man. Are those kids going to get me booze? The kids were a figment of your imagination. They're getting me booze, right? They're getting me booze now?
Yeah. So that is Gundam Meet the Mess Team.
Yes.
Any
Overall, an
final thoughts?
enjoyable ride. I liked it up through this point. I think I mean right at the end of 11 was a very high class, good, well-rounded end.
Yes.
Again, we're glad to know they're alive, but it's like that you had that suggestion that they've overcome and they're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Brent, it's them moving into the future.
Yeah.
I was like, that would have been perfect. That was a perfect way to wrap this.
Yep.
Why did they have to sour it with this episode?
I on first watch, and I watched that episode, and I really thought that there was going to be a second season of honest to God, of them trying to not be found.
Yeah.
At first, I thought, okay, is this where we're going with this?
Mm-hmm.
And then but then of course, there's nothing, and I'm just kind of like, well, and you're just because you're right, John. The end at 11, that is the ending. Or if you had to do a little bit more, do the suggestive thing of the minute 20 seconds of the no exposition. Just we found them. Here we go. Kind of a thing, and all is good. And so in the years since between the first watch and this watch, I never watched the last episode. I always stopped at episode 11.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And but I will say I did not have the visceral response to this ending that I did with Evangelion, the original episode, where I was like literally throwing things. And this one I was just one big massive eye roll. I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. But this was for someone I think trying to get into Gundam, this is a really good place to start. For somebody, you get all the right flavors, you get all the right ideas. It explains the ideas of, not just that war is hell, but it tells you what a Gundam is. It tells you why this is important. What's going on in these things, and it does it in a tactical way that's easy to take in, as opposed to Mobile Suit Gundam, where you kind of have to have all those episodes to get through it to go understand the big wide picture. Right. This is a perfect little series that sets you up for everything else. So you go, okay, I know what a Jeff is or a Goff is. I know what this is. I know what that means. I know that this is important, and you can move on. And for that, I think it's just a really, really, except for episode 12, I think it's a really well told story.
Yeah. Well, it gives you a nice flavor for, as you're saying, it's like with Norris and Aina, you know what I mean? That for this short a piece of Gundam, it does seem to give you a very nice flavor for the fact that the bad guys aren't always bad.
Yeah.
The good guys
Absolutely.
aren't always good. We know that. But it's nice to see it in this kind of shorter context to be like, okay, so if I launch deeper into Gundam verse, that I'm not going to go in and be like, oh, Zeon's always bad. They're just always bad guys. Like, no, you got the commander like this dude who gets vaporized at the end. He's a Fetty. He's not a good guy. That's like,
yeah. And to your point, it does this in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Very digestible kind of experience. Absolutely. I completely agree. Like, this is a relatively ideal introduction to Gundam and its themes. Just a fun ride.
Yeah.
All right. That will do it Now we're going to take a quick break for just a few minutes. Then we'll be back talk about more modern anime and the latest anime news. I'll be talking about much less modern anime, but that's a whole other thing. See you in a little bit. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
Maybe we'll do. Ooh, we're gonna go this direction.
Oh my.
Oh, gee.
That's literally crazy.
At least I got the reflection right in the window.
Yeah.
That was a bonus.
All right, bio break.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
And we're back.
Indeed.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a moment, a little breather. Talk about the anime we've been watching. Folks in the chat, please let us know what you've been watching lately. Any questions you have for the three of us. John, how about you and all the anime?
Pretty much
All
all
the
the anime. I've been catching up on Harem, Vermilion Gold, Call the Night. Yeah, everything that I can possibly catch up on, I have. I've been watching a lot of Honey and Clover.
Oh,
That we
nice.
had seen.
Yeah.
And it's gone unexpected directions. Like, I thought it was going to be more like Pet Girl Sakura Sao.
Mm.
and it was just going to be sort of slapsticky, but a little bit of heart somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot going on in that show.
Yeah.
With all the characters have all kinds of things going on, and I'm just like, this is turning out to be much more fascinating than I anticipated.
Cool.
So I'm thank you, Otakon Video Room. Thank you, I appreciate that. Now I've got something to cycle through that I think I'll find it interesting into it. So
cool. That's great.
And then I got stung again by freaking Yellow Jackets. So my leg's kind of blown up. Not happy making me. So
not fun. Not fun.
No.
But that yard work and working. It's been a week. It's been a week.
Been a week.
How about y'all,
Steve?
Well, quick question for you, John. I don't remember. You have not seen the live action movie Honey and Clover. It's
no, I have not.
Okay, there's a lot going on in that as well. I've always enjoyed that movie, so I'm glad that you're liking the
this
really cool.
This series, I thought it would be it would scope down to like just couple 3 people. No,
it's an ensemble.
Yeah, I mean it really is traveling across a whole bunch of different stuff. A lot of interesting interlaced stories. That's very good.
Yeah. For me, what was it? So the other night, aside from selling booze like I always do to angry people, I I was trying to figure out what I wanted to watch a few nights ago, and to try and catch up with on Spy Family or things like that. And I remember that last week we had mentioned that Netflix was premiering this week Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime on their thing. I was just like, well, let's give it a try. It's Studio Trigger, so it's not going to be awful, right? I mean, it's Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
And
at least it'll be visually interesting.
Exactly, right? And so 36 hours later, 5 episodes. I'm halfway through the series. I've got 5 more. I've done the recommendation video for my channel for next week on this. Nice. It is just to kind of sum it up for everyone. If you have Netflix, make the time to watch this. If you don't have Netflix, this might actually be the thing that will get you to get onto Netflix. It has a budget behind it. Studio Trigger, always visually stunning. Nothing different about that with this. Although you can tell that even for Studio Trigger, it's more.
Wow.
It's more. It's just Studio Trigger has that ability for not stopping. And it just moves, and the colors and everything, and it's just bright, and it's just everything, every movement, every visual has a meaning behind it and everything. Ramp that speed up by about 10, and that's a slow episode for Cyberpunk.
Damn.
It's just go. And if you are a fan of, like me, a longtime fan of the Cyberpunk genre in general, you're going to be very pleased with all the tropes that are in there. And oh my God, the soundtrack. It is, each episode has its own soundtrack, ranging anywhere from 5 to 9 songs. The intro song is by Franz Ferdinand. So it's just, and the music all fits and everything it gels together. And as I was saying to John, one of the characters named Lucy, who is kind of a little bit enigmatic, everyone's going to be wanting that figurine. So and look forward. And look forward to the cosplay for this stuff.
Yep.
Look forward to the cosplay, because this is cosplay central. I mean, it's crazy. It's just so. I'm so glad I made the choice to get addicted to this, so to speak.
Nice.
So, I estimate I will probably be done with this, and I'm not joking, with this series probably by the end of tomorrow night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I'm trying to look forward to watching that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up budget for it. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a lot of actual data. No. Who knows? I will tell you. You want to guess what the average tomatometer rating is for this on Rotten Tomatoes?
What's that?
100%.
Wow.
Wow, I was gonna say like 80 and be kind of like
Yeah.
happy with it. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I don't obviously it just came out. I don't know how many,
Right. If
All
this
5
deflated-
people
Yeah,
who
right.
responded loved
Actually,
it.
it was
Probably.
Steve just hitting the
Probably,
button
yeah,
over and over
exactly.
again.
Yeah, but that's pretty impressive.
Steve's demonic monkey button pushing has worked finally in favor. Yay!
Well, anything else, Steve?
Yes, actually. So the pretty lady who gives me food went out to Juneau, Alaska this past week.
Nice.
And because she is the pretty lady who gives me food, she brought me back food.
Salmon?
But in a very interesting package.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just chocolate covered peanuts. That's all.
I was gonna say it's coffee or something.
No,
Huh.
chocolate covered peanuts.
Poop.
You know, Bigfoot poop.
Chocolate covered poop. Okay.
Because I'm a kid. So that's it.
Okay. Well, I did something fun this week watching anime, actually. Interestingly for me, and something non-anime but anime related.
Ooh.
So the anime I watched was the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury.
Oh, how was that?
The new Gundam series. Slow start.
Mm.
The character designs, I'm going to say this kind of objectively, take some getting used to. Like they're kind of distinctive, kind of like if you've seen Iron Blooded Orphans character designs.
Oh,
They're kind of distinctive. They're kind of a little different. So this might be like that for you. But certainly, like I grew towards them. But by the end, I was definitely like sucked in. Like there's a very interesting storyline here.
Oh,
The
cool.
big twist here, and again, this is all episode 1 stuff, so I don't mind explaining. Is that space is so difficult on human bodies that humanity is working on bionics, and most people in space have bionics in their things because their bodies are just zero gravity, all that kind of stuff just wears and tears the body too much.
Yeah.
So Mecha, the Gundam, in this case, not just the mobile suits, but the Gundam specifically, is about jacking yourself into the suit.
Okay.
So that all the circuitry to move your body is moving the suit.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this has the deleterious side effect that it tends to kill people. And sort of burns their brains out.
Oh.
And so the big plot of the beginning is that basically another organization comes in and says, nope, this is immoral. And invades to kind of stop the development of the Gundam. And
wow.
bad things happen, as happened in Gundam.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting kind of premise and setup around that. So I'm curious to see what they're doing. I appreciate a Gundam series that has interesting sort of sociological underpinnings to its world building. So good on them there. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Now, was that what the slow part was? Them just establishing what the machinery is?
No,
what
more kind of establishing
relationships-
who the characters are and what's going on and who's who and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You're meeting all the folks in the lab building the Gundam and all that kind of stuff and the relationships and so forth, including the main scientist's 4-year-old daughter.
Oh,
Who's
please
there
don't.
with them.
Oh, please.
Here,
please,
honey,
no,
try
no.
on this little neuro helmet.
No, Shao Tucker. No Shao Tucker stuff. Oh, you don't. Okay, yeah.
No.
No.
You guys want me to tell you what happens?
No.
Well,
I'll just leave it to our imaginations. Oh God,
it's worse.
Oh, it is Shao Tucker. Oh.
No, it's really interesting. It is legitimately like really interesting. And again, I am a person who really does not like kids in danger and bad things being done to children. And what they do in here is like it is oh no. Okay, so I will reveal this much. They can't get the thing to sync with anyone because of how powerful it is and how good it is and so forth and so on. The 4-year-old climbs in and synchronizes with it.
Oh,
Oh god.
And the mother realizes this and is like, this is possibly the worst possible outcome, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. And like,
Child soldiers.
Oh,
yep.
it's Idion. It's
Yeah,
Idion.
it's basically
Idion.
it's Idion. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Now I'm not sure if they're going to go in like in that whole direction.
naked
It
space
seems.
babies.
I don't know, but it's
Right.
very and obviously that little girl is going to be it's going to be a 10-year time skip. She's going to be the main character of the main episode of the main series, and she's going to have this link with the Gundam, whatever. But I just really like that idea that she's like, okay, cool, okay, hey, I can do the thing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I also watched the 1966 Golden Bat movie.
Okay. I don't know what a golden bat is, but okay.
Oh, it's glorious.
Golden Bat.
Really?
Let me see if I can show. Yeah, there we go. Golden Bat is technically the world's first costume superhero. He was a Kamishibai creation. He is a skull-faced caped character from Atlantis who is resurrected in modern day as a hero of justice and laughs a lot and beats people with his baton.
He kind of looks like a Mexican wrestler.
Kind of. It's glorious. It's amazing. There's a lot of just all the classic kind of crazy fighting.
And motorcycle helmets.
I will say, like, he is genuinely terrifying. Like watching this thing run around with like this skull mask, and then this crazy laugh. It's amazing. And so obviously I watch it because of the Kamishibai reference and so forth. But then I saw the villain who has diverted a planet to crash land with Earth, because that's what you do when you're a crazy, space villain from another world called Nazo, I think. By the way, one other little connection. So the titular main character, a lot of characters in this, is a young man, amateur astronomer who sees this planet out of alignment. It's going to crash with Earth. Of course, nobody believes him. He is then kidnapped and taken to a secret organization underneath the Earth, full of people who are trying to stop this invasion from space of crazy things. You can get a better shot of the headquarters. He goes in. All very futuristic, very clean. Being led by a man with a beard who is trying to stop these aliens in secret in his, underground Evangelion. I'm just saying. There's just very much kind of an Evangelion feel to this setup here.
Oh, boy.
Also, by the way, that's Sonny Chiba.
Yeah.
Wow.
Playing that. So that was cool. But then what was also kind of cool was seeing this, and you see the villain. Nazo, again, I think is his name. Who is this weird, like, squirrel guy with 6 eyes that have these little things in them and a claw hand, and goes around, does the classic sort of Japanese live action villain thing, to kill them all. I will destroy the Earth. All that kind of stuff. And I was watching this and I was thinking, the weird thing is I recognize this. I've seen this somewhere before. I know I've seen this somewhere before. I give you all
Cthulhu. Oh.
Daikon 4. And I'm doing this in segments so YouTube doesn't scream at me.
Holy.
That's him.
Wow.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
The main villain from Golden Bat is in Daikon 4. So there we are, everyone.
It
There's
obviously
your
made an impression.
It all comes back to Daikon 4.
It all comes back. Daikon 4. So I just have
The
that
drawing is better than the actual
Yes,
content
it is.
on the show. Sorry.
By far.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. His little ears like wobble, as he's
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Ah.
Pretty bad. So yes. And I will say, the review I read for Golden Bat starts off with Golden Bat is the reason movies are made. And I completely agree. Like, it is ridiculous, over the top, but massively entertaining. Also has the advantage of the not advantage. The characteristic that Golden Bat is summoned by this little bat brooch that you go and say, Golden Bat saves me, and it turns into a bat which flies around, and by that I mean a rubber bat on a string that goes and goes.
Oh my goodness gracious! Really,
it's a trip. It is a trip.
The thing is, I can actually see the Foley artist off camera as they're thinking this dude's just going.
Hold the bat higher, flop it around more. Okay, I'm working on it.
The weirdest thing about it, though, not to harp on Golden Bat too much, is that you have the young man who doesn't really have much to do in the story. Like, he kind of gets sidelined pretty quickly. The head of the organization, various characters, and then there's a little girl who is like the granddaughter of the guy who actually runs the organization, the chief scientist, basically. Emily. And Golden Bat gives her the little bat brooch. And she's the one who like gets in danger and runs around. I'm like, why isn't that a boy? Like, there are no preteen boys in this movie. And it seems like a really weird choice to make, to have a little girl be kind of that audience stand-in for a character like Golden Bat. It seems like, where's Kenny in Gamera? Right. It's very, very odd.
Where's the little boy kid from Jet Jaguar?
Right, exactly. Jet Jaguar, you kind of look like Jack Nicholson. Sorry. Just a theater joke. But yes, it's thoroughly entertaining for those who like weird cheese.
The name of the new Fart Couch album, Weird Cheese.
Weird Cheese.
Don't hear that? And welcome back to the latest anime news for the week ending September 18th, 2022. We've got some news for you all. Boy, do we. So, French publisher JBE Books has announced an upcoming special release of the first 102 volumes of the One Piece manga. 103 have been published now, but not in 102 separate volumes. Oh no. One giant book.
Oh, wow.
The all-in-one edition, titled, of course, One Piece, without the usual space in the name, will combine 1,035 chapters of the manga into a single 21,540-page volume.
Huh.
Just because you can do something,
doesn't
mean you should.
Well,
how do you read it? The one
you don't, in fairness. Like they said, this is not meant to be read.
Yeah.
Also, to be clear, they are making 50 of these.
Oh, good.
50. They're already sold out.
Yes,
Wow.
of course.
Despite the €1,900 price tag.
Oh, wow.
Which, in fairness, for 100 volumes of manga,
Yeah.
this is described by its artist as, quote, French artist, not to stereotype, but this is the quote. This is the materialization of an ecosystem saturated by media, meant to be an object of pure speculation.
Oh, God. That's the guy punching the neck in the bar.
It is not to be read.
Is his black turtleneck sweater cutting off oxygen to his beret? I mean, when we hear that, are we supposed to snap at the end of it because it's so cool, so beat? Yeah, man, I hear you, man. I hear you. Cool, groovy.
I feel like that's like I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, this is a weapon.
Yep.
Of some sort. This isn't, like, I feel like there's some secret compartment and it's like out comes the katana or something.
That'd be cooler.
It's a smuggling device. It's just hollow inside.
It's Luffy's arm. Luffy's arms are actually in there.
It's 31.5 inches long.
Oh my
dang. Which, I mean, I know it's not meant to be read, but it could be.
Yeah.
All I can envision is like reading it in the round. So you're gonna have to bend the spine and make both covers like touch each other in a circle, and then just kind of like crawl through each page as you go around the whole bend.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I have another quote from the artist, if you'd like.
Sure, why not?
The One Piece book aims to, quote, shift the understanding of digital comics from a qualitative examination of the formal possibilities of digital comics to a quantitative reappraisal of comics as big data.
Oh, I want to slap this guy. Oh.
It must have taken weeks to come up with something so
absolutely.
You know,
he spent way more time on the press release than he did on the making of the thing.
Jean-Jacques, what would you like to say about this amazing piece of art? I don't know, but let's do something crazy that no one will understand. Let's interpret it in wild and imaginative ways. Stop taking the drugs. Just calm down.
I mean, absinthe is bad for you.
Yes. I mean, didn't anyone tell him, no, you don't understand. There are otaku out there. They will try to read it.
Like, here's the thing. I totally understand the idea of let's make a ridiculous book out of all of One Piece so far.
Yeah.
That totally get it. It's the pretentiousness of the release that just gets under my skin.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. It'd be different if someone said, hey, I did this thing to show you, to actually show you One Piece as a manga, the whole freaking thing.
Right.
Isn't this crazy? Isn't this crazy? Yeah. And we're going to put it in the manga museum in Tokyo, wherever it is. And here we go. Fine.
Yep.
This is not art.
No.
We are not going to sit here and talk about the inner meaning of the universe because of based on this. When someone who is so poorly desiccated in the mind for wanting to have an original thought that they thought to put together all the episodes, all the manga of One Piece together and called it art. No, that you deserve a backslap for that. Back of my hand.
Well,
I challenge you. Actually, give me a glove. I'll go over there and I'll challenge you.
There we go. Moving on from one big shonen series to another, one big data to another, so to speak.
Big data.
So the new Bleach movie is a thing that's happening.
Yes.
The Bleach anime, rather. At an advanced screening last weekend, voice actor Noriaki Sugiyama revealed that the series cast list is so massive and stacked with such important talent, it has literally affected the recording schedules for other anime series.
I believe that.
What?
I believe it.
Sugiyama shared that in peak scheduling, there can be more than 80 different people recording for the show in a single day.
Wow.
And he heard that on days of the week when Bleach is being recorded, other productions are not able to get a hold of their cast.
That's right. Yeah.
Fellow cast members confirmed his story, saying that even when they've gone to other job sites, the staff there complained about it, including various production companies and even their own manager.
Wow.
Damn.
Bleach is big.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And this is why you look for talent that can do 4 or 5 voices at a shot.
Yeah.
That way, there's only a handful of people that you have to interrupt the entirety of the industry. Oh.
Yeah. It is legitimately kind of interesting because, it means everyone's there, right? Including every single character. But also it means there's a lot of material. They're churning through a lot of characters, a lot of stuff in this new Bleach.
And also it means that this is kind of like their version of the MCU where all these voice actors are signing the contract to be on this thing. You know, this is something that apparently they want on their resume. And this is like,
and in fairness, like if Naruto, they announced, we're gonna do a new Naruto involving every Naruto character ever. You're like,
yeah, oh god, yeah.
Wow.
It's the entire industry at this point.
Yep. Jeez, well, good on them. I mean, that's
yeah.
Go big or go home.
Absolutely true. Totally. All right, let us move on to anime announcements. There was a rather big one this week. Very much anticipated. Hoyoverse announced during the Genshin Impact 3.1 live stream this weekend it's working with anime studio Ufotable, however you pronounce it, for a, quote, long-term collaboration project, end quote, for the wildly popular Genshin Impact. Nature has not been revealed yet, but the event showed a beautiful 3-minute animated concept video featuring some of Genshin's landscape and main characters. I was saying earlier, I think it's an OVA. I think it's a prequel, so it's not going to retell the story of the game. But here's the thing, everyone. If you think the Genshin cosplay has taken over conventions now...
Yeah. Oh boy.
Just wait. Oh, man.
Well, this is only the first shot fired.
True.
Right.
Once the game wraps up in like 10 years from now,
Yeah.
then they will launch the anime.
Yeah.
That is going to eclipse One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, because it will be thousands of episodes.
So Ufotable makes Demon Slayer. They also make Fate. They also do all the Fate anime.
Yeah. Here we go.
They're
There
capable.
We go. That's you're exactly right. Like that's what they're gonna do. Mm-hmm.
And it will become all the anime we talk about 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. There will
Still
be 5
playing the
new
game.
shows a week.
Still watching the anime.
I leveled up Yan Fei up to 3,000.
Yeah.
I still need 20 Primogens.
Yeah. Definitely though, if you're all curious, give it a watch. It's gorgeous. It is just fabulously beautiful. Moving on to other anime announcements, Bandai Namco announced a new apocalyptic third-person shooter game this week titled Sin Duality, and also revealed it'll get an accompanying television anime. The game is set in the year 2222, when the remnants of humanity live in a dystopian underground city after a poisonous rain created a new breed of man-eating monsters. Boy, that's never heard of that before.
Brand new concept.
Completely brand new concept.
Blowing my mind.
Yeah. Will there be mecha? Oh. Pony Canyon announced this week that Okamoto's Mecha Ude project is getting a full-fledged anime series and a manga adaptation. It is a Mecha Arm battle project, which began as a crowdfunding campaign back in 2016, and a pilot video was released in 2019. A short TV animation adaptation has been announced for Love Live Nijigasaki's Nijion 4-panel manga spinoff. Set to premiere in January. Also has a narrated video version that runs on YouTube. And finally, for this week, a newly revealed mixed media project, Blue Hunter: The Ocean Currents of Midsummer Time. seeks to raise awareness and encourage action to clean up the litter that pollutes the ocean.
Okay.
Created by the Manga, Anime, and Game Education Creation Center, an organization that aims to use pop culture to address social issues. The project will include a webtoon manga, voice content discussing marine life, 3D printed figures, art competitions, and live events.
Nice.
Yeah. Curious. Interesting. Who knows?
Buy the manga, but don't buy the one that's made of paper because that's killing trees.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't buy the one that has, wax paper covers or plastic coatings on it because that kills sea life. So don't just buy the manga. Shh, you can't say that. Oh, sorry.
Manga's all in recycled paper.
Yes.
Right.
So it's all good. No sea life was hurt except for the sea life that's made.
Actually,
What?
I mean, it would not be possible to create a non-plastic release of an anime.
Well, 3D printed figures are got to be made out of something.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
So
that's
it's gonna be
recyclable.
plastic.
Ultimately, it's PLA. You eventually do something there. I don't know. I guess you could 3D print resin.
Yep.
So that could work. Yeah, I don't know.
Human bones.
There we go.
Take the calcium from people, just like Star Trek, suck them out into this little thing, and then make them into figures. Oh, wow.
Perfect. Inexhaustible supply.
Perfect.
Japan is set. I should probably take that off. Japan is set to implement a new system for filing invoices starting in October of next year.
Oh.
But it's raising a lot of concern among people in creative industries who use pseudonyms. Under the new proposed system, invoices will only be verified if they're filed using individuals' real names, which will be accessible to the public through a national database. This, of course, creates an issue for people who wish to keep their real names private, such as manga artists and VTubers. Japan's Ministry of Finance so far is not considering any countermeasures for privacy-related issues, responding that they do not believe a person's real name is highly risky personal information. And the names are chosen over addresses or phone numbers as verification for this reason. So again, to be clear, what they're saying is you do not have to put in your address or your phone number, just your name. The database will also be open to commercial use, reportedly to allow for verifying in batches and things like that, so you can run tools against them and so forth. Critics argue the system prioritizes increased tax revenue, inconvenience for larger corporations over individual privacy, and express concern for the safety of anonymous creators with large audiences, like famous VTubers and manga artists who work under pen names. Interesting. I don't know where I fall on this.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because on the one hand, you're like, okay, yes, this is important information to have to be able to do proper taxation and proper benefits, actually.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. But at the same time, do you really want that? I'll bring up a case in point as you were talking about this, putting a person's name, even though you don't have the address and stuff. So Sandusky, the guy from Penn State, who was right. Well, here in Baltimore, there's a sportscaster also by the name of Jerry Sandusky. And he was getting hate mail and death threats simply because that was his name, and people couldn't tell the difference that it was the sportscaster versus the actual pedophile.
Right.
And I mean, that's kind of the extreme.
Sure.
But still, it's one of those things where it's just like, I actually happen to know how many Stephen Gerhardts there are in the state of Maryland right now, and there's actually two of us.
You've eliminated the others and absorbed their power.
There can be only one. But it's like one of those things where it's like, do you really want to get that phone call? I really liked volume number 3 of the. Who are you? Why do people keep calling? Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's just, and there is a privacy issue for me as well. I mean, the whole point of a pen name and a pseudonym is to give you the freedom to write things. Stephen King actually wrote under Bachman not to hide his identity, but to see whether or not if it was his writing or if his name at a certain point in his career.
Right. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah. So, and so it's just kind of like, I don't know. But then again, it's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
It's kind
Well,
of hard to say.
And I think the issue is like, I totally understand submitting your real name in tax records.
Right.
It's that then becomes a public on a public database anyone can search. That's that's tough. Like that becomes the difficulty.
Well, the question I have to ask is why.
Right. Yeah.
Like if it's protected information for the government, okay,
yeah,
for the tax purposes and benefits, whatever.
Mhm.
Why does the public need to know that?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it also depends on how public is public. Right.
Yeah.
If this means anyone with access to the API, anyone with access to the service can access it.
Right.
That's kind of different because but then anyone can kind of publish that on it. I don't know. It gets
It's sticky.
real sticky real quick. Yeah. So it's a good example of the kind of thing we like to do here. We like to look at things and say it's complicated.
Yeah.
You don't have to say this is the right or the wrong way. Like it's complicated.
Right. Yeah.
There are obviously forces at play here that are not revealed to us in this time and format. So
It all goes back to Gendo Ikari. So
yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, over in Katakawa land, the chairman of Katakawa, Chukihiko Katakawa, was arrested this week on suspicion of bribing a former member of the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics organizing committee. Yay!
Oh,
hi.
Katakawa became an official supporter of the games in April 2019 and published the official programs and results books. But according to sources linked to an ongoing investigation, the company is suspected of paying money to a consultancy linked to a former member of the organizing committee. That amount is around 69 million yen, which is around $500,000 US.
That's a bribe.
Said committee member, yep, absolutely, was arrested last month on suspicion of accepting bribes from multiple companies to secure the sponsorship for the games. The Japan Times reported that Mr. Katakawa claimed to reporters that the money was a consultancy fee.
They always do.
I was going to say, isn't it always?
Yeah. I got this brand new kitchen in my mansion for the being a representative of Congress because it was just an understanding, an agreement of friendliness. Oh, shut up.
Two former Katakawa senior officials were also arrested last week as part of the investigation. The company itself announced in a press release it's taking the matter very seriously and will fully cooperate with the authorities, but will refrain from commenting on details while the investigation is ongoing. So all the standard, Yeah.
So here's something that I find interesting, other than the fact that this is all a bribery. I mean, I actually find this whole story fascinating, and I'm going to look into this more. But it just kind of shows you the difference in how legal systems work in different countries. Because here in America, you don't get arrested for bribery. You're brought in. I mean, you can be. There's certainly no reason that they can't. But usually that's not how it works. It's hey, we need your statement. Okay, then you move forward, and then it gets to that point where there's like, oh, we got clink clink, that kind of a thing goes on. But even then, usually it's like, oh, you did a bad thing and you need pay restitution. Whatever. In Japan, they're just like, oh, you tried to bribe somebody, and it's literally just bribing not just, but it's bribing an Olympic committee for benefit to yourself, obviously. But they got arrested. Like that's the system where it's just like, no, you don't do that. No, that's not a thing. Whereas we would be like, what's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's that's shocking, but it's definitely very different from what we're used to.
Yeah. Well, if they were the official sponsor, wasn't that good enough?
I think that's how they became the official sponsor, though.
Yeah, but if you had $500,000, why wouldn't you just go up and like Coca-Cola has sponsor Olympic Games forever? It's because they just dump millions of dollars into it, and it's like, okay, is that a bribe when you go to the IOC and you're like, here's $50 million, we want to sponsor the games? It's like, what I mean? The whole International Olympic Committee is like, thank you, just break this money right on in here.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Katakawa just gone up done the same thing and be like, okay, here's a check for 500 million yen. We'll be the sponsor. You're good.
Right.
Yeah.
presumably they couldn't do that. Apparently,
That they didn't have the cash to do it.
Or they did.
well,
and
no,
it's
that
clink,
they,
clink.
yeah, presumably there was more going on there than that.
It wasn't just being a sponsor.
Yeah, I got it.
It was eliminating the competition as well. Hey, wait a minute.
There was something I was thinking of where
We want you to go to Weekly Shonen Jump and break all their knees. Here's $500,000.
where somebody made something. They wanted to license it but couldn't. They went ahead and did it anyway. And they ended up getting like taken to court, and they ended up paying in damages roughly what they wanted to pay as a licensing fee. Like originally they were like, we will do this for $5 million. No. Okay. They don't go, here's, okay, we'll give you $5 million if you want.
Oh.
I love it. Anyway, moving on to happier news. The Ghibli Park staff revealed new video footage this week of the park's Grand Ghibli Warehouse area, which, along with its previously announced attractions, will feature sets recreating scenes from 13 different Ghibli films, such as the appearance of No Face from Spirited Away, because who doesn't want that, as seen on screen. The area also has sets recreating famous dining scenes from Ghibli films, as well as a display of materials from the release of Ghibli films around the world. And as no theme park will be complete without merch,
naturally,
a store will be offering original goods themed around the Ghibli works, and a cafe where guests can taste the Castella cake from The Wind Rises.
Aww.
The staff also announced this week the park will screen all 10 Ghibli Forest film anime shorts at the Cinema Orion Theater in the Grand Warehouse. These were the ones previously exclusive to the Ghibli Museum.
Oh.
Yeah. So these are all now becoming available.
Nice.
In more places. So let's all get to Japan.
Yes, please. I want to have a Totoro burger.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Oh, Totoro.
I'm eating
so
Totoro. It's
tender.
crying. It's just like, it's so good, but it's Totoro.
Lastly, Crunchyroll brought us. Sorry.
No, the next thing on my mind was like, I'll have the Ponyo fish sandwich.
Oh, come on.
Filet of Ponyo. Come on. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Lastly, Crunchyroll brought us a couple of announcements this week about upcoming events. First up, the record-breaking One Piece film Red is coming to theaters in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand in November. English subbed and dubbed. The film will premiere early at Crunchyroll Expo Australia and New York Comic Con in the first weekend of October. They also announced the rest of their lineup for New York Comic Con, which will include a Film Red cast and crew panel, panels with dub casts of My Hero Academia and Chainsaw Man, and industry panel with anime exclusives and news, which will surely be reporting on back here when the weekend is over. Crunchyroll will also have 2 booths on the show floor, featuring installations like a special One Piece photo op, a Chainsaw Man art installation, My Hero Academia character monuments, and a replica of the Forger family's apartment.
Oh.
The Spy family. Yeah. Oh.
It's gonna have like all the
I want to be there. I want to go there.
Oh. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is because we have the internet in these days.
Yeah.
There will be extensive fan-made film, and I'm sure, obviously, official release of film of that apartment that we can all drool over.
Yep. Exactly.
It's almost as if pandemic never ended. Remember that when we were getting all the since it's nobody can go anywhere, here's the special digital room that we're going to put everything in.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I guess.
Yeah.
You know what would be really great if they had the room and they actually had people dressed up as the Folger family, and then coming out and doing a thing.
I mean, the photo ops are going to be crazy for that.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll auction off the
Oh,
apartment.
God.
I don't know how. I mean,
Yeah.
no idea
I mean,
conceptually how
they'll
you would.
probably, they'll probably keep it for further cons. I'm betting.
Can you imagine that, getting that and then having it in your apartment and have somebody walk in and just go, wait, what's going on here? Did I just step back in time? What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, and unfortunately, putting the set pieces in, the windows don't line up, so it's incredibly dark in your house now. I'll be like, why don't you just cut new spaces for the windows? No, it's the original set for Spy Family. Don't touch anything. Okay.
October 6th through 9th
Nice.
is when that is. So, anyone who wants to grab late tickets, went up and experience the world of Spy Family.
Oh, wow.
That's all the news for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Yeah, a little bit. Not too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Now the question is, as is always the question. No, different question.
Okay.
Yes.
First, let me turn that off. Is there history? Is the question. There is indeed.
Aha.
Cool. We will slightly restructure things. Today is the 18th. Yes. Okay. Cool. Why do we not have? That's why. Sorry. Just had to restructure some things a little bit. There we go. Welcome to This Week in Anime History, where we talk about things that happened this week in anime history. We're going to jump back to September 15th, 1970.
Oh,
wow.
And the premiere of a movie named Cleopatra.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Not the live action one.
Nope.
This was the first X-rated anime. That's technically the first hentai, I guess, sort of.
Yeah.
Premiered in Japan on this date, or September 15th, 1970. It's a weird movie.
Yeah.
It's a really weird movie.
With a well-known backer.
I've only seen the little snippets that you guys have showed me. I've never seen this film.
It's weird.
It's odd.
Well, because like it's a movie, like it's a story. Things happen. It's not a sex movie. It's not a sex farce or anything. It just has nudity and sexuality and such in it, but also like very stylized.
We'll use that word.
Yeah, stylized. Exactly.
Like Belladonna of the Sadness.
Not that stylized, but kind of parallels. Absolutely. If you're interested in weird movies, that would definitely be on your list.
Tezuka.
Oh yes, the Summer Tezuka movie. And in fairness, like the art form has to move forward. That's the kind of thing you have to do to kind of push the art form forward to make adult-oriented works and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Gives Astro Boy a whole new meaning.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just I know
Turns
Tezuka
out
was
people like
doing.
boobs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I knew Tezuka was doing things, but I just have a hard time imagining him with his little beret, being like, "No, we need more boobs."
I can. But we can flash forward to America on September 14th, 1999. And the premiere availability of a little anime called Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
On VHS.
Oh, wow.
Its original release here in the US. And these colored tapes. And then the DVD release came not long thereafter. And I remember that being a big deal because folks were like, don't buy it on VHS. if you have a DVD player, no, wait for the DVDs. I can't imagine watching Cowboy Bebop on VHS.
Let's watch that scene again. Oh, tracking. Oh, God.
I would love to have the unopened box set still sealed in all
Yes.
of its thermo shrink. Yeah, I'd like that, but I would watch it.
That reminds me. I thought of you, John, the other day.
Well,
Real
why?
quick.
Did you collect some useless crap?
Almost.
Hey!
The entire box set of the Akira manga.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. It's still on the wish list. It's still on there.
That's funny. I found an image of the Japanese VHS release of Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
The PAL release of Cowboy Bebop, but not the
Police Athletic League?
yes.
How very specific.
But not that looks like it.
Ponies and
VHS
lighthouses?
tape, no.
Not what?
Not a lot of photographs of that because it's super rare. Because no one bought it because they were like, "We're going to wait for the DVDs," as you should.
See, now if you had bought 10 copies and left them in a storage unit somewhere, they'd be worth
$3,
$3 or $4 more than what you paid for them. Think of it.
No, $3. That's how much they would be worth.
You'd be a $3 you know?
There we go. Let's find out. I'm going to eBay right now. Cowboy Bebop VHS.
$100 billion.
Not quite that much.
In
Cowboy
pesos.
Bebop VHS with all inserts. Chirashi Video Volume 1 through 9 plus 0 set sealed. This looks like possibly the Japanese release. Hard to say. It's in clamshell. And there's a lot of English on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah, this is the Japanese release. Guesses. What do you think this is? There's no bids yet. This is what they're asking for.
$200.
I'm gonna start at 129.
Go up.
Seriously.
1,000. Okay. I went too high.
450.
500.
Down.
Fine.
350.
$370. $370.
Okay.
That's what they're
So
asking for.
All those years ago, you spent $150, so you'd be breaking even with inflation.
Here's what's crazy. I mean, not necessarily. Volume 1 through 8 of Neon Genesis Evangelion on VHS. Oh, this is the American release. $200. Not bad.
Yeah,
Um,
not too shabby. Still
so
new
it
in
looks
box
like-
or opened?
I'm assuming new in box.
Nice.
A single, so Cowboy Bebop, Blues hard case, VHS anime, Asteroid Blues. This, wow. Wow.
Uh-huh.
This bootleg VHS tape
Oh,
Okay.
is $50 for Volume 1, Episode 1, subtitled of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh boy.
They're
wow.
selling this VHS tape, and the logo on the back is for Anime Village.
Oh.
Not Bandai, not anything else. Nope.
Oh.
Wow.
Here's my rented tape that's been passed around 5 billion times.
Yep.
Well, what's worse, it's just Episode 1.
Yeah.
It's just Asteroid Blues. Like, oh man, I feel so bad for these people. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Okay, so sorry. Okay, I just gotta do this. Let's see here. Share. Stop screen. Share. Screen. VHS anime lot.
Oh wow.
So you get
Bubblegum Crisis.
Bubblegum Crisis,
Zillion.
Shamanic Princess, Machine Robo, Tenchi the Movie 2,
Oh, wow.
Zillion, Lost Universe, and Dark Warrior Part 2 Jihad. I have no idea what that is. ADV.
$50.
Huh.
That is a snapshot of 90s anime goodness right there.
Yeah, no
joke.
joke.
Wow.
And now to find a VHS player,
Yeah.
it's only $10,000. Nice.
Jeez.
That's crazy. But yes, such things exist. That's all the news for this. That's all the news. That is this week in anime history. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
See ya.
Done.
Smash cut.
History's done.
Now I have a question for you all. What
did we learn
on the show tonight, friend?
friend? Doing my Ethel Merman.
Everything's coming up.
I thought,
What's his problem? He thinks he's Ethel Merman.
Oh, I love that movie. In so many ways. I learned the art world is still pretentious. In some
Yeah.
ways, though.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I learned Bleach is a big deal again,
Yeah.
Who would have
which I
thought?
wasn't sure was going to be a thing, but it's definitely a thing. And I learned that there are certain gems out there, certain works of anime that just come together, that are these just really satisfying experiences. And for me, 8th MS Team is one of those. And just, I felt that back in the day. I still feel that today. Steve, how about you?
I have learned that I still enjoy MS 8th Team with each successive watch, and that I still have the same feeling about episode 12, which I will pretend never. It's kind of, it's kind of like Highlander, the second movie, where everyone just kind of pretends it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Everyone's just says, "Oh, that didn't happen." So that's how I feel about this. It just didn't happen. It's its own little thing over here.
Like the 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Yes.
I like Crystal Skull for what it's worth. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, go, moving on.
I've learned that it is actually really nice to have going back to anime like that and just kind of watching it with someone else with a new pair of eyes, watching it and just gleefully just going kind of. It was almost as much fun for me watching John react to it as it was for me to and just messing with John and just going, yeah, everyone dies. Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Everyone dies.
Thanks. I was waiting for it.
I've also learned that yes, Bleach it is not going to die. I watched Bleach back in the day, enjoyed it, never went back to it. I could tell you the story and all that stuff, like it's firmly set in my mind, and it just blows my mind that like so many people want to be part of that action for that one movie. And I'm thinking that there will be the stage musical coming soon, and of course I am sure there are multiple pachinko games on it.
Oh, yeah.
I have also learned that that brand new stuff can just jar you in the right way and just get you really, really excited about things. Cyberpunk and Edge Runners is. I needed to see this anime because I was starting to get crusty, and I needed to see this and just see something so new and just like, here it is, watch the thing, watch the thing. And,
Look at the new shiny.
Yeah, exactly, the new shiny, and the fact that it's Studio Trigger and they're doing just ramp. They turned it down to 11. It goes 1 to 10. This goes to 11. So going to 11. And the last thing I learned, the last thing I learned is that if I want expensive toilet paper, I'll buy the one piece.
Oh,
thing. It's just, well, I mean, no. Hear me out. You sit there, you page by page, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, and it should last you a few months at least.
Yeah.
a few
'Cause
uncomfortable months.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna be pretentious and call it art, I'll just call it pretentious and call it performance art. How about that?
There we go. Okay.
No.
And that's what I learned. That's what I learned.
Nice.
John?
Jeez. I've learned that a Totoro burger might not go over as well as I thought. But what the heck? Let's go for it. That you can go actually see the Spy Family apartment. Oh my goodness! I've learned something that I want that I'll have to put out of my mind because otherwise I might try and find a way to get there. And that there are movie releases coming in the near future, and that having gone to see Mugen Train and only having seen a little bit of Demon Slayer, I'm kind of curious about going to see a One Piece film. I've seen bits and pieces of it, so I've learned that maybe if that's available, that might be something I might journey.
We'll have to catch up. We'll have to catch up so we're up to speed.
Well, it's true. Yes, we have to catch up on the anime first.
Yeah, not a channel. No.
We have a couple of weeks. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Constant watching for like several weeks. Pervitin, anyone? Oh, okay, I'm good to go for another 3 days.
It sounds like a good Friends movie.
Yes.
Go with some friends to the One Piece movie. Talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. Be like, how did this compare to what you remember from watching it on Toonami? I didn't watch all of it. Okay, fair enough. Geez. I learned several other things. I learned the joy of anime, the company of friends, and doing the live stream show. Thank you.
Yes.
Indeed.
It's always fun doing this with you all.
Yeah. Likewise.
Always great fun. Thank you all for being here. I think we're going to take a break next week. We're going to take a week off because we have Anime Academy coming up in a couple of weeks. So let me tell you all the plan there. I'm going to drop in our Discord, our official Anime Archaeology Discord, a link to a document for some anime we're going to watch over the next couple of months. We're going to start going through the classic anime, and I mean like the anime of the 60s and the 70s. We're going to go back and we're going to get that really grounded understanding of where anime came from. We talk about this a lot. To know something, you can know what came before and what informed it. We're going to go through. We're going to watch Astro Boy. We're going to watch Sally the Witch. We're going to watch all of those things. Not every episode. We're not going to go through every episode of these things. We'll pull out a few episodes here and there to watch to get a flavor of these shows. And we're going to go through that. And we're going to change up the format a little bit. Rather than committing to a particular amount in a given week, we're going to say, okay, here's the plan for the anime we're going to watch over the course of the next couple of months. We're going to start, in 2 weeks with the first episode of Astro Boy. We'll talk about that. We'll continue talking, and then we'll fill basically an hour or so of the weekly dig with whatever we talk about. If we get through 2 episodes, great. If we get through 3 episodes, great. If we get through 4 episodes, fine. Whatever length of time we need to cover that material, instead of trying to, scrunch it all and try to fit it into our schedule, we're going to give it all the time it needs to breathe, to talk about. So if Astro Boy does deserve a lot more time, we can give it that time without feeling like we're, overfilling a given week and we have to rush. So that will be thrown into there. That will be in the Discord. We're going to start with Astro Boy in a couple of weeks. We have some plans for that, and we will be going into that. And there will be some suggestions in that document. I'll link to some places we can watch it. I'll give you some sort of prompts and questions to think about, stuff about like the content of those episodes to kind of ruminate on. So when we come back, we can all have kind of some shared language around it, some shared thoughts around it to talk about. That'll be the plan starting in a couple of weeks with the Anime Academy. I'm very excited for this.
Learn, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna really get in and start analyzing some stuff in a couple of weeks. Again, starting with the first episodes of the 1966 Astro Boy. So very, very cool. That'll be the plan. So yeah. Thank you all for watching as always. Hope you guys have a great week, and until next time, watch more anime. And this time,
Mina.
I'm gonna remember, hopefully.
Sayonara.
No, I'm not. What was that the thing? Hold on.
Totoro
Ah.
Burger.
Yeah.
Surf
Yo,
and turf,
thank
you.
Ponyo, surf and turf, Ponyo, and Totoro burgers.
Oh, jeez. Nice. Way to make the
Broadcast
children
ended.
cry. Way to make the children cry.